last week we failed, but we did not forget to talk about Mother's Day here on Kababayan LA. Mother's Day was last Sunday, and so it was fitting to have these lovely ladies today on the show and invited them because today we're talking about adoption. Although it's quite timely as well because the LA Times came out, or was it New York Times? It came out with a story about how people are getting adopted, children that are being sold from China. What are your thoughts on that, Mausami?
Actually, China is a Hague Convention country. What that means is any country that has signed the Hague Charter means that they are being overseen by the U.S. State Department. So if there is that concern, I am sure that the U.S. State Department is definitely looking into it.
And Mausami and Trisha are here to represent Bal Jagat. Bal Jagat. It's an adoption agency that's based here in LA for people who want to complete their families with babies. And Trisha, how does the adoption process begin?
Well, first families will contact the agency. It's best to look for an agency that's fully Hague accredited, who has a history of successful placements. You know, just make sure you do your research before you choose the agency that you want to go with. You want one that's going to be supportive, who can guide you through an emotional process.
Right. Is there a fee involved? Because if there is, isn't that sort of like buying into the business?
Definitely not buying into. Not at all. There is a fee for international adoption, and it's comparable to what the fee is for domestic adoption.
Oh, okay. What's the difference between international and domestic?
International adoption is working in partnership with USINS, because every single international adoption is, all the children come from foreign countries.
Right, so that happens if you are a family here and you want to adopt, say, for somebody from the Philippines or somebody from Asia, correct?
Or somebody from China or India, or, you know, there's a ton of countries that we work with. We work pretty much with most of the countries in the world that will allow children to come to the United States.
And domestic adoption is?
Domestic adoption is children who reside in the United States, and they are adopted by families who live in the United States.
How do you screen families willing to adopt?
Families are screened by certain criteria. First, they make sure that they qualify. The qualifications, there are minimum qualifications by INS, by the foreign country, and by every adoption agency.
What about annual household income? Does that figure?
It does in terms of just bare minimum. They have to meet basic minimum criteria.
And do you have to be married? Do you have to be a married couple to adopt? How about a single woman to adopt? Is that okay?
There are several countries that will allow single women to adopt children. Every country has different criteria.
And you mentioned earlier your babies come from all over. Is there an age bracket?
Babies come from all over the world. In each country, they have to go through a process to make sure that nobody comes back to claim the child. That's how everyone has a peace of mind with international adoption, is that all children are legally orphans with paperwork to prove it. No extended family members came back to claim the children, so parents have a peace of mind.
And there is such a thing as open adoption, right? So do they know who adopted their, what happens? Do you know where the baby is from? Or?
In foreign countries, open adoption is usually not the process. In foreign countries, it's orphanage adoption, meaning a child, for whatever reason, was brought into an orphanage, and from the orphanage, the central authority of the country is the one who chooses the child for you.
All right. Last 30 seconds on the show, Trisha. Who should contact you? The number is up on the screen. Who should contact you?
Just families that who have a heart for adopted children, who want to build their families through adoption. Also make sure if you have gone through any infertility issues that you've already resolved that, have reached acceptance, grieved through that loss, and are now willing to adopt and be ready to raise a child.
And at Bal Jagat, you also do provide counseling for families.
Absolutely. The home study process is very supportive. We educate families as well as assess them for their stability. Bal Jagat has been around since 1983.
Well said. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. More power to both of you. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you.